You were a doorman. You've seen it all. I just have to ask you straight away. Tell us about some of the craziest things you've seen as a doorman at the MGM Grand.
Oh gosh,
So many, right, Chase? So many.
There were a million of them. I mean, certainly the Mike Tyson fight when he bit Evander Holyfield's ear was probably the most stunning, riveting night of my career at the MGM Grand. And keep in mind, my shift was 7 at night to 3 a.m. So, you know, people walking their kids down the street with ice cream cones during the day. It wasn't like that at night. At night, it was more like people got in line like Frankenstein to get charged. And just become electrified, and I've got so many stories, so many people that.
Well, you got to give us one, Jay. You can leave the names out, but you got to give us one. Give us what it's like to work that 7 to 3 shift, because that's when all the craziness happens.
Well, you know, it's a scale. I mean, it went all the way from people that were so intoxicated that I actually had to help them walk, help them get into a limo or a taxi cab. Sometimes I even gave back the tip that they handed me because they couldn't see straight. I mean, I didn't really need a $5,000 chip for doing that. And I know they didn't want to do that. There was a man that got into a taxi and drove off, and he closed the door and the car left, but he forgot his wife was with him as well, and she ran after the cab. And you know, stuff like this where people just forget what they are, who they are, and it's one of these few places in the world where you can be whatever you want, do whatever you want, and a lot of people go mashugana.
He forgot his wife.
He did. He forgot a whole woman, and who happened to be his wife.
I want to be a fly on the wall of the discussion they had the next day about him forgetting his wife. All right. Well, Jory Hetland, she's a witness in this case. She's a friend of Javon Walker's. She said that Javon Walker paid for everything in the club, and she basically said that she couldn't afford to have wild nights like that without Javon Walker. Take a listen to this.
You had a table on the dance floor or near the dance floor?
Near the dance floor, yeah.
Is in clubs, just typically in Las Vegas, does every single person that come in there get a table?
No.
So tables are what?
Expensive. They're like, I couldn't go get it. I mean, I could if I wanted to waste my money, like everything I make.
Well, Jay, you've seen celebrities and big spenders come through. What are hotels willing to do to keep those people happy?
Anything and everything. First and foremost, to talk about the logic of Las Vegas, if there is any, it's a business. And Las Vegas is there to make money. That's why they've got all these insane restaurants and insane shopping and major resorts and all the things that Vegas offers people. And it is all about money, and it is all about extravagance. And if people want to flaunt their money and really spend, Vegas will certainly accommodate that. They're built for that. And they're also built to live out all of your fantasies as well. There's a lot of different rooms that you can go to in Las Vegas that you can't do anywhere else in your life, certainly, or anywhere else in the world. So Vegas is there to pretty much accommodate anyone who wants to spend $100 or wants to spend $100,000.
Within the law, so, within rules and regulations, I hope. I mean, look, things probably happen all over Vegas that aren't within the law. We know that. That's why law enforcement is there. But do you see a lot of illegal goings on, and is it more overt than you might see in other vacation destinations around America?
You know, Las Vegas is built on people's fantasies, and keeping in mind it's 24/7. The alcohol never stops. There's no last call, anything like that. So certainly people that want to discreetly do a line of cocaine and drink shots all night instead of going out to dinner can do that. And Vegas really is not going to look away. They just don't want to see it. Certainly Vice is very busy there, but you know, Vegas is Vegas. Sex sells, and people go there to blow steam, and Vegas is built for that. But Vegas is also there to protect you. It's got a massive security force. There's cameras everywhere. Every hotel has their own security force. Metro is an incredibly efficient police department there in Las Vegas, and considering the kind of a city it is, it's ranked 67th, I believe, in terms of crime. It's really a pretty safe town, considering you've got about 40 million people a year that come there to get nuts.
And
so.
you talk about the protective aspects, the videotape being so critical in this case. Jay, I want to ask you about something else. One of True TV's most successful shows goes behind the scenes at the Hard Rock Hotel's poolside party in Las Vegas. So take a look at how the staff indulge big spending customers and keep chaos under control. This is the show Rehab.
My cabanas decided to have like a little war between each other.
My one cabana, they're like, you know, from the States. They're drinking a bunch of beers. They're spraying beers all over the place.
My London guy, he's like, we want those 2 bottles of champagne because we're going to show these Americans how to really like party. And so I had to go back to my well and grabbed a couple bottles of champagne, brought them back, and they just started spraying all over the people that were spraying us with Bud Light. Some little pipsqueak decides to throw his drink in my face. So I went up to the guy and I said, what do you think you're doing? And he called me a I lost it.
Wow. Jay, can you tell us what it's like working in an environment where oftentimes, I'm not going to say always, but oftentimes people are intoxicated?
Well, that was my life for 6 years, certainly working in the middle of the night. And I personally had to learn survival techniques. I mean, within seconds. And I write about this, where I would see people coming at me. I'd look at their expressions. I'd look at their gait. Sometimes I'd look at their clothes, and I remember them when they first arrived. They may have looked really nice and decked out, and 2 days later they're wearing the same clothes and they've got this dehydrated kind of sheen about their face. And you know, alcohol is really the bottom line. Learning how to deal with people that are intoxicated, learning how to deal with people that haven't slept, learning how to deal with people that lost money gambling. And when you combine all of that stuff, it can be very, very explosive. Now, certainly the piece that you just showed at Rehab at the Hard Rock, this is a place, and they're targeting for the most part younger people that love to throw money around and blow steam and get crazy. They're not necessarily big gamblers. So what Las Vegas does is they find that marketing angle, and they've got this crazy but very controlled place called Rehab, where you're there to drink and party and dance and get crazy. But once again, they've got a very elite, very efficient security department to keep that chaos under control.
Okay,
I,
so
as a doorman, had to do the same thing, keep things under control.
It's party, you can have a good time, but Las Vegas is looking out for its patrons as well.
Oh, absolutely it is. Right. I mean, security and safety is #1 always, always.